Thank you for watching the latest episode of the Inside Drive on Racers and Rods Media. Stay tuned weekly for more exciting content.
All right. And your name is? Porter. And this is a 1982 Jeep Willie?
CJ7.
CJ7.
82 CJ7. It was on the way to the scrapyard. The floors and the sides were all ate out of it. And the guy posted it pretty much just for swamp buggy. You know, somebody wanted to build something that really wasn't going to be roadworthy. And I picked the body up for $400. And I had to end up cutting the entire inside tub out, replacing it, rebuilding it. We custom built the frame in my shop, me and the guy over there with the cork hat on. We built the chassis, everything ourselves. This was the first one we did. It was 2017. It was New Year's Day in 2017 when we started it. And during the process, I ran across a friend of mine that had the 5-cylinder Mercedes turbo diesel out of a 300D 1985 model. And I picked up the engine and transmission. We just kind of built everything around that. You know, we built the frame out to fit the body and the engine. And then I just started collecting parts here and there. Ended up, the front axle is a 1939 Chevrolet pickup because I wanted the drop axle to get as low as I could. It's got 69 Camaro disc brakes on it. A friend of mine owns a salvage yard. He had a 84 van, Ford van, and I got the rear axle out of it, and we just kind of made everything work together. And now it's running and driving, and I've got over 5,000 miles on it. Everything works, the speedometer works, all the gauges work. And believe it or not, with the 5-cylinder Mercedes motor, it's diesel with a turbo, it gets about 33 to 35 miles to the gallon because it's nice and low, it don't catch a lot of wind, and that engine is designed for efficiency.
Yeah, that's very surprising, you know, knowing it would get that much MPG for something as a 1980s Jeep. You know?
Yeah.
And it seems to be a rarity, you know, these CJ5s, you know, just about as rare as finding, you know, your most authentic rat rod out there. So where do you see the future of rat rods in your opinion?
It's going to be like a sideline thing, I think. A lot of people, you know, they want the factory stuff, they want the shiny stuff. But for a lot of people that you know, they have a little more creative, you know, expression to get out, they usually gravitate to stuff like this because the only thing that limits you is, you know, what you can dream up pretty much. I mean, you can take almost anything and turn it into a rat rod, you know, if you take your time and you do it right. But the main thing is the safety aspect. If you're going to build something like this vehicle has got all brand new brakes all the way around, all brand new brake lines. It looks like an old ratty vehicle, but underneath everything is tip top because you don't want to be out on the road and spend a year, 2 years of your life building something and then it fails while you're going down the road and you destroy it or hurt somebody or kill yourself. But that's the future of rat rodding is going to be the next generation of kids. The kids are here all day long, crawling on them and everything, and that's what's nice about the older vehicles like this. They're not going to scratch the paint, they're not going to break anything, and if something does happen, it's an easy fix. And the kids get involved, and you know, you're kind of fostering, you know, future hopes and dreams of these kids to go out and use their ability to build something with their own two hands. That's where I would like to see rat rodding going. I would like to see, you know, people express themselves through vehicles and you know, build what they like, build what they think is cool, and have a good time with it. You know, it's not a super cheap hobby, but it's a cheaper hobby than building, you know, a $100,000 show car.
Right, at least to concours specs.
Yeah.
And what was its first car show you took it to?
The first car show was this in 2018. It was Slamfest in 2018. I started in 17, finished it in 18, and then brought it here. And this was its first show here. And it's probably been to 50 or 60 car shows since then. And we travel the entire state.
Right here, yeah, you got yourself some modern day air cleaner here attached to
Here's a Crystal Head vodka bottle for an overflow, and you know it's got all modern suspension. Those are airlift shocks, shock waves with airbags on them.
Now this one stands out really too. Just seeing the chains on there, and I thought to myself, oh wow, you made it made it one with the frame here.
Yeah. The company I work for, we've got a lot of heavy equipment, and some of them are conveyors and stuff have chain driven gearboxes on them, and we had a bunch of chain laying around. So as I was building it, I just kind of incorporated a lot of that into the build, just for the simple fact that it was available, and you know it worked good with what I was doing. So